Hey everyone, are you ready for this? We're going to deep dive into some seriously cool stuff about renewable energy today.
Oh, yeah. Some really fascinating sources I've been looking at.
Yeah, and it's not just all the amazing advancements, but also um
The challenge.
yeah, the hurdles we still got to face, right?
Absolutely.
So consider this your crash course on what's really happening out there.
Yeah.
Okay, first up, the good news. You guys are not going to believe how much cheaper solar panels and battery systems are getting.
Seriously.
We're talking like a 66% drop for solar and a whopping 58% for batteries just in the last 2 years alone.
I know, right? It's unbelievable.
It's huge. And,
It really
I mean,
is.
it's not just about like saving a few bucks on your energy bill, right?
No, this is a game changer. These cost reductions are making projects that just a couple years ago seemed like a pipe dream.
Yeah,
Totally viable now. It's making clean energy accessible to way more people, not just, the wealthy few.
totally. And it's not just about the economics either. I was reading about this
Oh, yeah.
geothermal project in Germany. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
Tell me more.
They're using this crazy drilling tech to tap into these super hot rocks, like way deep underground.
Whoa.
We're talking up to 4 kilometers down. And get this, they're converting that heat into electricity.
Wait, so we can actually pull clean energy from the earth itself?
You got it pretty much anywhere with these hot rock formations has the potential.
That's wild. So, like, instead of relying on fossil fuels, we could be using this clean energy.
Right.
That's right under our feet. That's amazing. Okay, so we've got the geothermal thing happening, and then there's also that,
Oh, the Climate Impulse Project?
yeah, with the hydrogen-powered.
Bertrand Piccard, he's like
Yeah.
aiming for a 9-day nonstop flight around the world powered entirely by green hydrogen.
That sounds almost impossible.
Yeah, they're aiming for 2028.
What's so special about green hydrogen anyway?
Well, hydrogen fuel cells, they're already being used, right?
Yeah.
In some vehicles, but most hydrogen production still relies on fossil fuels. Green hydrogen is different. It's made using renewables.
Oh, okay.
So it's a truly clean fuel option.
Gotcha. So this plane project is like a proof of concept,
A giant one.
showing the world what's possible with green hydrogen, especially for industries that are tough to decarbonize, like aviation.
Exactly. Pushing boundaries, proving that clean alternatives aren't just a fantasy.
I love it. But, we got to be realistic, too. It's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Right.
I mean, with solar and wind power, there's that whole intermittency thing. The sun isn't always shining, the wind isn't always blowing.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How do we deal with that?
Right. Like, do we just accept that the lights might go out sometimes?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? To make renewables work on a grand scale, we need ways to store energy.
Yeah.
Like massive batteries. They can store energy when the sun's shining or the wind's blowing and then release it when we need it.
So are we talking about, like, giant batteries for entire cities?
Not quite that simple, but we need to be smart about managing this variable energy if we want a stable grid powered by renewables.
I see. There's a lot to figure out, huh?
For sure.
It's not just the technology, it's also, like, all the logistics, too.
Absolutely. And on top of all that, there's the whole issue of government policies, or sometimes the lack of them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was reading this article in The Guardian the other day about how potential changes to government support for clean energy are freaking investors out.
Right, because they want stability. Investors need clear signals.
Exactly.
If they don't know what the rules are going to be, why would they take the risk?
Makes sense, right? And we're not just talking about individual investors either. Large-scale renewable energy projects need tons of money.
Yeah.
Usually involves banks and investment firms. They need to see a clear path forward to justify those big investments.
So it's not just about coming up with full new technologies. It's about creating a system where those technologies can actually thrive.
Exactly. And speaking of challenges, we can't forget about the big one.
Oh, right.
Even with prices coming down, getting started with renewables can be pricey, especially those fancy hybrid setups with storage.
Yeah, I was reading something about how this is a big problem in developing countries.
It is. It's a real hurdle. Even if the long-term costs are lower, that initial investment can be a huge burden.
Right.
Especially in places where resources are already stretched thin.
It's complicated, isn't it? We've got these amazing innovations, but also some serious roadblocks to clear.
It's a puzzle.
Yeah, cost reductions happening, but also this initial financial barrier. And then there's the whole policy piece. Governments can either be a champion to renewable energy or a major obstacle.
It's a lot of moving pieces.
It is. But hey, we're going to dive into some potential solutions and strategies in a bit.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll keep this conversation going.
So, before we get into solutions, let's break down why those upfront costs for renewable systems can be so scary.
Yeah, because it's not just about the price tag on a solar panel anymore.
Right, exactly, because those are actually, dropping
Yeah.
quite a bit. So what else is going on?
Yeah, what else is going?
Well, you've got the technology itself, obviously, solar panels, wind turbines, especially batteries. Those things, they require complex manufacturing processes, specialized materials,
Right.
all adds up, right?
It does, yeah.
But it's not even just about the individual parts. You got to think about the infrastructure needed to make it all work.
Oh, the support system, you mean?
Exactly. You need specialized equipment for, installation, maintenance, grid upgrades to deal with the variable energy flow.
Okay.
And often you're dealing with like remote locations, especially for wind farms,
Yeah.
which means more transportation costs, logistical hurdles.
Right, so it's like a whole web of costs, not just the solar panel or the wind turbine itself.
Totally. And then, those hybrid systems we talked about.
Right.
With energy storage, that adds another layer.
For sure. Yeah, because you're basically building two systems in one.
Exactly. Energy generation and storage.
And making sure they work together. That can't be easy.
Not easy at all. And it's expensive. Imagine trying to conduct an orchestra where some of the musicians only show up when the wind blows.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Okay, so there's definitely a lot that goes into those initial costs, but we can't just give up, right? What are some things we can do to make these systems more affordable?
Well, there's no magic solution, but there are definitely some promising avenues. First of all, we got to keep pushing the boundaries of innovation.
Okay.
As scientists and engineers develop more efficient, more cost-effective technologies, those savings are going to trickle down to consumers.
So research and development is super important.
Oh, absolutely crucial. And it's not just about inventing completely new things, right?
Yeah.
It's about optimizing the stuff we already have.
Right.
Refining manufacturing processes, making things more durable, longer lasting. All that helps bring down costs in the long run.
Makes sense. Okay, so innovation's a big one. What else?
Well, we talked about government policies, right?
Yes.
How inconsistent, unclear policies can scare away investors.
Yeah.
But the opposite is true too. Smart. Consistent policies can be huge drivers of change. Subsidies, tax breaks, streamlined permitting processes.
I see.
These are all tools governments can use to incentivize renewable energy adoption and make it more financially appealing.
So it's about creating a system that actually supports renewables, not hinders them.
Exactly. And it's not just about throwing money at the problem.
Right.
It's about stability, predictability. When businesses and investors feel confident
Yeah.
about the future, they're more likely to put their resources into renewable energy projects.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so government's played a big role, but what about us regular folks? What can we do to make a difference?
Oh, there's a lot we can do as individuals. Honestly, it starts with education, learning about the benefits of renewable energy, understanding the challenges we need to overcome. The more we know, the better equipped we are to advocate for change.
So write to our elected officials, talk to friends and family, spread the word on social media, all that.
Exactly. The more people who get it, who support renewable energy, the more pressure there is on policymakers to prioritize it. And beyond just advocacy, we can make choices in our everyday lives that actually support the transition.
Ooh, like what? Give me some specifics.
Well, a lot of electricity providers now offer renewable energy options.
Oh, yeah.
So you might be able to choose a plan that sources its electricity from solar or wind farms, for instance.
So we can vote with our wallets.
Exactly. And by supporting those providers, you're signaling to the market
Oh, smart.
that there's demand for clean energy. You're also reducing your own carbon footprint, which is always a plus.
I like it. Okay, so we can choose renewable energy plans. We can advocate for supportive policies. Anything else?
Absolutely. If you're a homeowner, you could look into installing solar panels on your roof.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
There are often financial incentives available,
Yeah.
like tax credits and rebates
Yeah.
that can make it more affordable.
It seems like a great way to take control of your own energy and maybe even save money down the line.
It is. And even if, solar panels aren't an option for you right now, there are other ways to invest in renewables. There are crowdfunding platforms for solar farms or wind energy projects, for example.
Oh, cool.
It's a way to directly support these projects and be a part of the solution.
I love that. It's empowering. It's like we're not just sitting on the sidelines,
Right.
We can actually take action and help create this cleaner energy future.
That's exactly it. Every action, every choice, every conversation about renewable energy adds to the movement. It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's contagious.
Right. Our actions can inspire others, and together we can make a real wave of change. And it highlights something really important, too. This isn't just about the technology or the policy.
Right.
It's about people coming together to build a better world. It's about changing our mindset, shifting from scarcity and fossil fuels to abundance and the power of nature.
I love that. Well said. Okay, so we've talked about the financial barriers, but also some really encouraging solutions. It seems like it takes a village, right?
Yeah.
Like we need governments, businesses, and individuals all working together.
Absolutely, a collective effort. And the good news is the momentum is building.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic now. It's easy to focus on the challenges,
Right.
but there's so much progress happening. And the more we talk about this stuff, the more aware people become, the closer we get to real solutions.
I couldn't agree more. These conversations are vital, and they need to continue because at the end of the day, the future of energy is in our hands.
It's pretty amazing how, this whole renewable energy thing, it goes way beyond just the tech stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. It impacts like everything,
Yeah.
our economies, our societies, how we interact with the environment every single day.
It's like a total paradigm shift.
Yeah,
We're moving away from that old way of thinking, relying on those, dirty limited resources
right.
and embracing something completely different.
Yeah, it's a shift from scarcity to abundance, from like taking stuff out of the ground to generating it.
Exactly. And for so long, our energy systems have been all about, dig it up, burn it, deal with the pollution.
Yeah,
Renewable energy offers a different path.
a better path.
Yeah, one where we can harness the power of nature, like the sun and wind.
And the earth itself.
And it's not just about the energy source, right?
Yeah.
It's also how those systems are designed. Instead of those, huge power plants and grids,
Right.
we're seeing a move towards more localized, distributed energy.
Absolutely. Think about rooftop solar.
Yeah.
People are making their own clean energy right at home.
Oh, wow.
They become prosumers.
Prosumers.
Yeah, both producers and consumers of energy.
I love it. That's so cool. And, I think that shift could really impact communities in a big way. Imagine like towns and cities that are more self-sufficient.
Brilliant.
Yeah, resilient, less reliant on those big, vulnerable grids.
It's about empowerment, too.
How so?
When people have more control over their energy,
Yeah.
it changes everything. They have
Yeah.
a voice. It democratizes the whole system.
It's not just about the technology, is it?
No, it's the values behind it.
Yeah.
Creating a more sustainable, equitable future for everyone.
Renewable energy, it's about more than just, ditching fossil fuels.
It really is. It's about changing our whole relationship with energy.
Yeah.
With the planet.
It's recognizing that we're part of nature, not separate from it.
Exactly. And our choices have consequences,
Yeah.
for generations to come.
We got to keep that big picture in mind. It's easy to get lost in the details.
It is.
But we're doing this for a reason.
We are.
We're creating a world where everybody has access to clean energy,
Affordable energy.
where we live in harmony with nature, not against it.
That's a vision worth fighting for.
I'm feeling inspired. And, we've only scratched the surface here.
We
But I think it's been a good overview. We've talked about the cost, the breakthroughs, the social implications.
Definitely. And hopefully given our listeners some food for thought.
For sure, this conversation's not over.
Not by a long shot.
We got to keep learning, keep talking about this stuff.
Absolutely. The future of energy is up to us.
So to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into renewable energy.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope you learned something, that you're feeling energized
Inspired.
and maybe even a little challenged. Remember, the future's in our hands. We can create a better world, a more sustainable world, together.
Together.
Thanks for being here. SFLA